a philanthropy. We are not in any way a CSR institution, so I don't really know much about CSR, but I hope I'll learn more about that today. But we are a foundation founded by Mr. Tony ELUMELU, who retired last year as the CEO of UBA, which is one of Africa's largest banks. And the purpose of the foundation is to help unlock the potential of the next generation of Africa's business leaders and entrepreneurs so that Africa's economic transformation can be driven from within, from Africa's own businesses. So that's really the focus of the foundation. What I will be talking about today is impact investing, which is one of the tools our foundation uses to make impact. And I was told by the organizers that I can have a maximum of 5 slides. I have 6, but that includes the cover page, so I hope I'm okay. If you want to cut me off before the last slide, that's fine. I'm going to start quickly with just kind of laying out where impact investing fits within our approach to philanthropy, and then go into more details on impact investing and go through it relatively quickly. Okay, so I know this is a bit of a busy slide, but this is basically laying out our approach to philanthropy is we are a catalytic philanthropy, and we've moved away from the sort of traditional philanthropy of the sort of older philanthropies that have been around for the last 50 to 100 years, where philanthropy was really about writing checks and cutting ribbons, and there wasn't a whole lot of interest in whether you actually made an impact or had brought about transformational change. And so we're part of the newer approach to philanthropy, where we say, look, philanthropy is much more than that, and philanthropy is about, it's not really worth doing unless you're going to actually have a major impact, and you're going to try and transform the space that you're focusing on. And so in catalytic philanthropy, as opposed to the traditional forms of philanthropy, you use every tool that you have at your disposal. So as this kind of lays out, I won't go into this in detail, but you really want to take responsibility for what you're trying to achieve. So it's not about, again, just writing checks and sitting back. It's being actively involved in the process of making change happen. It's also about mobilizing campaigns, getting everybody on board to be part of what you're doing, so that if whatever your focus is, whatever the issue is that you're trying to make a difference in, you got to get everybody involved, whether they're the public sector, the private sector, the social sector, whoever, the media, everybody. You need to get everybody involved, and you got to do it as a campaign and really make things happen in that way. And then also, you know, it's got to be about building actionable knowledge. It's got to be about stuff that's all really relevant to what you're trying to achieve. And within the spirit of catalytic philanthropy, we look at our foundation as having a broad set of tools that we can use. Again, traditional philanthropy only looks at having one tool, which is what we have in the bottom corner there, traditional grants. But for us, traditional grants is only one of a large toolkit that we can have and that we can take advantage of. And we can do everything from internal programs. There's some things where there really isn't a grantee out there who's doing what you want to do, and it's the best approach is for you to do it yourself. Another tool that we have is our founders' time and influence. We have, you can use research, you can use media, advocacy, convenings, partnerships, and then also what we'll talk about in more detail is impact investing. So again, the lesson here is when you're thinking about philanthropy or even probably CSR, don't think of it as just cash. Money is often the least important asset you have, and so you have to look at it more holistically in terms of what you can use to make change happen. So now let me go into more details on one of the tools that we use, which is what we call impact investing. So impact investing is kind of the term that's now being used for what used to be called a number of different things: social investing, double bottom line investing, triple bottom line investing, social capital, patient capital, etc. Lots of different terms for this. But the global movement has kind of coalesced around this term for this type of approach to development. And basically it's quite simple. It's the use of for-profit investment to address social and environmental challenges. So you might ask why this is necessary. Why do you need to move away from just making grants and the sort of traditional approach to development? Well, there's several reasons for this. First of all, problems are growing faster than the solutions, and because of that, you can solve one problem. Let's say we solve maybe the education problem in Africa. Okay, well then the next thing is you got to create jobs for all these people, and so there's always going to be problems, and even as you tackle one and you build a movement around one, there's others emerging. And so you just need to really get everybody involved and everybody on board. The next one is that there really isn't enough charitable and government capital to address all the challenges that are out there. So if you basically, just one sector, say in development, the sector, urban development, for example, just the price tag to bring all these sort of low-income urban settlements in the developing world up to kind of basic standards, the price tag of that is about $3 trillion, okay? If you add up all of the philanthropic giving